Hey, this is Herr Nox from Canada, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. Usually I have a partner, but she had something emergency come up, so we're going to just solo it today.
Oh, no problem.
It's no problem. I've been doing this for a while, so we'll be good. Let's talk about the record, Where Shadows Fade. Now that it's done and complete, are you satisfied with the outcome, or is there something you wish you could go back and change?
Well, I'm really satisfied with the record. I spent probably twice as much time on it than I did with my previous record. So I really took my time, and I took breaks between every recording sessions to make sure that every time I'd come back to the album that I was satisfied with what I had. So I just let it sit there and I took my time to really spot all the little details that I would like to fix. And so I'm really satisfied with how it turned out.
Was there a lot of, or was there maybe self-imposed pressure, I'm not sure what the word is, but to do a follow-up to your first record?
When I started writing the new songs, the feedback I got for the first album was really good, and I was really surprised that people were really getting into what I was doing. So, I was trying to not be too anxious or too stressed out by the fact that I'd have to live up to the appreciation of the first album. So it was kind of a bit scary, but I think to be fair, I think I've topped what I did with the first album, and I think I made it. I'm trying. I'm kind of I don't know how to say this, but I'm trying to, not trying to, but I think I found myself a little bit more on that album. So, it's becoming a lot more me, and it, I'm really, trying to, make my own sound. And I think this album, is a right step in the right direction.
We've been big fans of the single, as you know, from the beginning. That single blew my mind. And I was wondering, how do you feel, or how does it make you feel when your songs and your music actually connect with somebody? You said you're getting good feedback. What does that feel like?
Well, that's actually amazing because, I spent like 2.5 years in a studio, like all by myself. And since it's a solo effort, I don't have really much feedback at all. I mean, there's maybe my girlfriend who hears the songs and say, oh, that's cool. But, she's
right,
my
she
girlfriend.
Can't say anything different. Right.
Yeah. I mean, her vision of my music may be biased a little bit. So, but once the music get out there, it's really cool to see that it connects with people. And it's and the feedback I've been getting for this album is really amazing. And I'm kind of overwhelmed with everything that's going on right now.
It's good that people can, see what you're doing, because it's not, and don't take this the wrong way, but it's not necessarily mainstream metal or mainstream anything really. It's kind of different, as you said, you're carving your own little niche. So it's great that somebody can connect out there in the world with what you put down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense because this project is basically me trying to make the music that I'd like to hear, and not really to try to fit a mold. I just try to I put all my different influences in my music to try to come up with something that's a little bit different, that's a little bit out of the box and not fitting really into one single genre, and trying to emulate what other bands are doing. I'm trying to do my own thing, and I know it's not, it's always super hard for me to pinpoint what's the actual style of music that I do. So, when people ask me, your music, you're a musician, and what kind of music do you do? And I'm like, let me let me try to find out what is it, because there's metal, there's goth, there's rock, there's progressive, there's a bit of
Industrial.
new wave, yeah, industrial. There's like so many different things that because I mean, at the core, I'm a music fan, so I listen to a wide variety of
Right.
genres. So I try to, well, it all those different styles of music like molded my interpretation
Sure.
of me as an artist. So
Did you ever think that, or was it ever a thought in your head that, maybe this isn't mainstream and it's not going to be accepted airplay wise, or, widespread? Or do you just write the record for you and then see how everybody interprets it?
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the whole point, I think, of this project. Yeah, because I've been in some other bands before, and we were necessarily trying to be mainstream, but we were trying to maybe fit a little more into a specific genre. So, but with this project, I just told myself I'll just do whatever I want to do. I'll just, and the songs that will come out of this will be who I am as an artist, and not necessarily who I'd like to be, or who what type of appeal I'd like to receive. So I mean, there's like one of my greatest influences is David Bowie, and I think he always struck me as someone who would go really out of the box, and would do stuff like he intends to. He was just trying to make music like everybody else. He would just like do what he wanted to do. So, and that's the uniqueness and the I think the how could I say this, the uniqueness, and also the feelings that you get, the feeling, because if you do something that's perfect, I mean, I don't think it will last in
Right.
time. But if you do something that has a little bit of more, like maybe imperfections, or a little bit more personality, I think that's when it becomes more memorable. So that's kind of what I'm
That
trying to
also
do.
puts you in sort of a more vulnerable position, correct? Because
Mhm.
I mean, you're spilling your guts into your art, and I guess that's what art really is at the core. You're spilling, and you're just hoping to make that connection because you're not really sure, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, I really, like I said, it's really, this project is really myself. It's really what I am as an artist. So, when I put my music out there, I'm really like bare naked, and I'm just, it's me. So if people enjoy my music, it's great. But I mean, I try not to really think about those who might not enjoy it. I do my music, and if
Right.
people enjoy it, well, that's great, and I'll keep doing it for them, and I'll keep doing it for
That's a
myself
great
too.
attitude. Is there a message or something you want your fans to walk away from after listening to the new record, Where Shadows Fade?
Well, the album dealt with a lot of what was going on in the world back in the last 4 years of the American
Mm-hmm.
presidency, and all that, the police brutality, the racism, and all that stuff. So, and what the album dealt with a lot of these issues, and I was kind of, I don't know, I don't know how to say this, but I was kind of sick of the state of the world, and it was like becoming a big
Mm-hmm.
dystopia. So it's an album that tries to you know tell people to be more empathetic, and tell people to it's kind of a dark album, but at the same time it has a positive message. So it's trying to like, I don't know, trying to tell people to lighten up, to be more empathetic, and also like, there's the last song on the album, which is called "Burning," is about the death of the ego, and trying to let go of the individuality of to be more like open, and to be more accepting of the
Right.
world.
I think it's always been the case that music has kind of been impetus for change, or I mean, look at the 60s, with all that stuff going on in the 70s, there was music music was sort of right in line with it all. And that makes sense that you're doing stuff like that too, because, the situation we're in, I think it kind of goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, society. We're all part of a society. So so that's everyone is impacted by what's going on in the world. So and it's the same thing for pretty much all types of art. Like movies and all that stuff. There's always it's always like an echo of the society at the time.
How did you get involved with Lindsay?
Well, we've been friends for well over 10 years, maybe almost 15 years. We met on MySpace.
Yeah,
and
that's funny.
yeah, we met on MySpace. I was with my previous band, and she was in Mary and the
I've been
Black
friends
Lamb,
with her
which
since that as well.
also,
They've done a few things. They did a few things for me way back when.
yeah. So I was browsing through MySpace, and I found that band, which was like not so far away from us. So I sent her a message, told her if she ever wanted to do a tour, maybe both our bands could
Right.
get together and do something. And so that's how it started, and we've been keeping in touch since then. And I've always enjoyed her as a person, and she's really cool, and she really helped me through music, through life,
She's
stuff
great.
like that. So yeah, we've been a pretty good friend. Yeah, she's great.
What do you have? I don't know if this applies as a solo artist, but are you planning on doing anything like live stream wise, or have you been doing anything, or you got anything planned? Because since we can't really tour yet.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything really planned out, but it's not said that I wouldn't ever do a live show. But I'm thinking about gathering a couple of musicians and maybe try to do, but I don't think I would ever go on tour, like a full blown out tour, but I'd be open to make some special events and have some one night only gig or something like this, because I like to do. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I'll have to include stuff like video projections and all that stuff. Like have a big multimedia experience, so it would fit the
Right.
music. And I really like to, I enjoy the visual aspect of music too. So I like to have the whole experience. So yeah, so it may be not something that would be easy to carry on tour because it depends on where you are and what's the venue like. So
Do you think it would be difficult to recreate some of your work in the live setting because it's so complicated on CD or tape or whatever on the master?
there might be some issues, but I don't think it would be too hard. Maybe the hardest part would be to there's Jürgen Munkeby from Shining who played the saxophone on my album, so it might be hard to get him to play with my project in a live setting. But maybe I could find another saxophonist here in my area. But that might be the only issue. But as far as the album's concerned, it's synthesizers and all that stuff. So and there's obviously guitars and drums and all that stuff. So it's basically like a real band experience, but with a couple of little added additions. But
Okay.
yeah.
So lastly, I know that you can't tour and you said you probably wouldn't tour anyway. What is next for you then? What do you have in the pipeline? Just more work? I mean, more music, or
Yeah,
are you going to
exactly.
be working on this with video kind of stuff, or what's the plan?
Well, I'm really into all aspects of art. So I would do. I'm talking with someone at the moment, but I can't say a lot about it. But we're planning to maybe do like a graphic novel, something or some kind of thing like this. So I'll probably draw the artwork, and also I like to do videos. I directed and edited my all of my music videos. Nice. So that's something too I'd like to make more of, and also I can't wait to get back to writing music, because once I release an album, it's like, to me it's almost like, all right, it's done, it's in the past, and I'm almost immediately looking forward to start working on new music. So I'm kind of getting the itch again to start writing music.
So I know I said that was the last one, but I've got one more for you. Were there tunes left over that didn't make this record, where Shadows Fade, that you might recycle and use on the next record, or do you just start fresh?
Usually I'll start fresh. I had like a couple of riffs and ideas that I had from the previous session, but I mean, some of those riffs might be used in upcoming songs. There was one song that I thought it started really well, and I think it would be like a really catchy tune, but I just wasn't sure how much time I'd have to put in that song to make it like perfect, or like the way I wanted to. So I might be getting into that song a little more, and but usually I start really fresh, on a fresh slate, and try to come up with new stuff. Thank
you for taking the time. I appreciate it. We've been fans from the beginning of this record anyway. It's the first time I heard you. So,
well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
We dig it, and I'll send Curtis and you a link when it's up.
All right, cool.
Take care, my friend.
Take care. Bye.
You have a good day.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.